Ekabo, and welcome to the Ifa Orisa traditional discussion. And as usual, your host is Baba Iwaliwa or Baba Mello, as we all know him affectionately as Baba Mello. All right, Baba, we on live.
Abo aboye, abo shishe.
All right, one of the challenges I had was in being able to share this live to several platforms, right? For some reason, Facebook was not allowing me to do that, right? But it's something I'm still kind of working on as we are actually live. I'm trying to see if I would actually be able to see the stream on my page because they allowed me to share it there, right? So as soon as it comes up on my page, hopefully I should be able to share it a couple other places.
All right.
All right, but I was just introducing the topic, but I will let you go ahead and do that a little bit while I do some work in the background here to try to get things up.
I say abo aboye, abo shishe to all listeners in Ifa Orisa discussions. Welcome. Our discussion today will be leadership, and not just the role of the leaders, but also in leadership as the followers in recognizing and understanding how to relate with leadership. All right. Our as I will do, ogbe ate, ogbe irete. If it's correctly, and make sure it's the correct one. All right. Rifa says, Elekbeje, the owner of 1,400 things, was returning from the ocean. He was marching majestically inside the money sack. Ain was the one who gave birth to Osin. Osin gave birth to Ajiwe Doja, he who swam across the river daily at dawn. While Aji, where Doja was
Ain was
busy
the one who gave birth to Osin.
in the river.
Gave birth to
Oh, now hearing? You're hearing?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I'm sorry about that. I was just doing some technical.
Oh, that's
work
your
and I went over to YouTube. So
All right.
we're streaming also on YouTube. So I'm going to try now to share the YouTube the links on Facebook with people.
All right.
Yeah, all right. Go ahead. Sorry about the interruption.
All right, no problem. While Aji where Doja was busy taking his bath in the river, Olu met him there. By the time Olu returned home, he was proud. He was proud possessor of a crown of wealth. While Aji where Doja was busy taking his bath, Iworo Orisha priest, met him there. When Iworo Orisha returned home, he grew a tuft on his head. While Aji where Doja was busy taking his bath, the 16 heads met him there. They all made kings in their respective domains. People asked, why is it that all of them were successful? They all responded that it was because they met Aji Wedoja, where he was taking his bath. People then asked after Aji Wedoja. They responded that Aji Wedoja had swam and swum. He had become the king of the stream. 200 people looking after him on his right. 200 were paying respect to him on his left. After he had finished swimming and bathing, he then became Ogbeate, the proud owner of the house full of riches. Here comes Omini, the ruler among all leaves. All Ire belongs to Omini. Both home and path is given unto the cat. Here comes Ogo leaves, offspring of Elewuji. It is only one person I call, but 200 people will answer me. It is the cloths which a chameleon found on one that they duplicate and wear in its own body. It is every part of Shefun leaves that possesses riches. The matured pigeon had flown to the ocean. The more mature pigeon had flown to the sea in torrents. Let all Ire come troop into our house in torrents. It is 2 wings that the pigeon uses to usher in the wealth brought from the ocean and the sea. I know we always give a little reading and try to break down the understanding. But in a sense, Ajiwe Doja was just doing his role. He's taking a bath. And sometimes come as most leaders are just doing what they are destined to do.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people who seeking some kind of moving forward. And sometimes those who just doing what they do and think that they're doing nothing special, but they're doing what is necessary for their comfort, opens doorways and passages for many others to benefit from. So I
Okay.
might read a book to understand something, and 10 people would have read the book and they can't understand. And I might give the explanation. They may say, well, he could be the leader of wisdom. I say, a one-eyed man is king in a blind man's tongue,
Yeah, in a blind man world, I guess.
in a blind man's world.
Mm-hmm.
So I say sometimes there's leadership in each of us, but how do we find that leadership? And sometimes we don't have to recognize it or look for a title, look for a position of the leadership, but just doing what it is we're supposed to be doing in this life journey that others can experience some development of growth, development, and understanding their purpose as well.
Okay. Agreed.
Now, I always tell the question, how did I get here? Because this was not my choice in life, but it was destined to be my life. I would be around elders. I would say my shouter Baptist leader or priest, spiritual father, which was Edmund Percival Mejias. You know, he was an intellectualist, I would say, and he was always searching. So being around him, I always had that encouragement or mentorship to always search to get the right answer to the right question. Even if the answer may sound totally opposite to what everybody believe. Once you have research and you got that's the answer, he's not moving from that.
Okay.
And people today that celebrate Orisha Shouter Baptist Day, Liberation Day, they have him to thank for that.
Okay.
Because he basically did all the research, brought all the thing, even all the questions that people argue. He'd have been answered. This is what he believed, and he brought it. So now today they celebrate Orisha Baptist. He was made senator in the Pandey administration.
Okay.
But he was there to push for the Orisha holiday, and Barbara Burke was there to push for the Baptist Liberation Day.
The Shouter Baptist.
The Shouter Baptist Liberation Day. Now, a lot of people know is Mejias who was really directing Barbara Burke, the Bishop Barbara Burke, or Archbishop Barbara Burke, in understanding the role as a shouter. And looking at that, you realize that yes, we believe in something, but sometimes there's more to know than just what we believe. And sometimes when we know something, we have to really look again at what we always used to believe. So in taking a journey, I believe that we all, as we always say it in our church, we all chose our destiny. We chose our destiny, or we come here to make that destiny manifest. And all the other aspects of Orisha within us is to basically push us to fulfill that destiny, to make the world better than how we met it.
Okay. Well,
And go ahead.
yeah, well, I mean, I can't help but agree with all that you've said so far. And, you know, I think one of the things that we need to talk about too is that the importance of knowing what one's destiny is and initiation in terms of being able to guide how you function towards the fulfillment of your destiny. Because that is also an element in dealing with leadership. It is an important factor when it comes to knowing who leaders are, and also for persons who are not leaders, who are practitioners, for them to also be able to fulfill their particular role in the scheme of things. You know, everybody isn't designed to be a leader.
Truly. But I think Ifa has, in our wiki, Ifa has already put the structure for us to understand leadership. Now we say Mojuba Olodumare, and we come down. Mojuba Imale, Orimole, Mojuba Orisha, Mojuba Egungun. There we go. Mojuba Baba. Well, we can say Babalawo. There are Babalo Orisha. There are Yellow Orishas. Then we have Baba Tobimi, Iya Tobimi, and Mojubato Ori. Now Ori basically is, they say Ori is king. Or Ori's head leads our life. Your Ori is the highest representative of God in our life, the most important Orisha. We must appease Ori before we appease any Orisha. Appeasing Ori really means become conscious. Most people think that just because I did a bow to my Ori, that is it. It really means allow your Ori to become conscious of existence. So then understand your Ori have to pay homage to the Baba and the Iya that gave birth for your coming. So they are your first leadership.
Well, I think also to in Ifa, because of the role that Orun Mila played in assigning the Ori as head of the body, that respects also has to be paid to Orun Mila. There's one of the reasons why we do the Dubale when we go to our Ifa. Because that's to show the respect. Yeah, but go ahead, Baba.
No, so I just taking in terms of the structure is always there, but it's more to people to understand roles. So a child's first leader is the parents. But if the parent is not conscious, they really can't lead the child to fulfill a conscious life. As we say in terms of the tradition, the most important beginning of our journey is our rites of passage from birth. We say Esintaye. From that and the guidance of the parents, the child already would be walking along his journey to fulfill his destiny.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they would know this is the part of this child. Now, the parents being aware and conscious, they know how to remember that they are taking care of a young one that is also growing up to be part of a, let me say, an important lineage.
Community.
The community, but like the family, because remember now you're going to the ancestors of the parents. Who are the ancestors? Now, when we in our situation in diaspora, our lineage basically reaches maybe some lucky to have the great grandfather. If they have not extended outside to know well where the great grandfather or the great great grandfather came from. So if we look at the whole genealogy or the whole growth pattern, their leadership is an important role, not just in, now I don't want to go into the religious or the official leadership in terms of church tradition, office of leadership, but in terms of just generalized leadership. We as parents, we have to remember that we are the first leaders of our children.
Definitely.
Because if it is our children's political view supposed to be our political view. So if we have it wrong in our political view, we may guide our children wrongly in their political view.
True.
So same thing in terms of purpose, I say wealth accumulation. If the parents don't understand wealth, the child will never be able to appreciate wealth. So the father gave him a piece of land, he studied well, sell the land and back up. So that when leadership is important in terms of how do we lead our children or family towards the growth and development that is benefit the individual as well as the community.
Definitely.
All right. Now,
Go ahead.
all right. Now when we leave from the parents, the ancestors, now let me come into the tradition. We have Babal Orishas and the Orishas. They also are leaders in the community. Now, their role is supposed to be so easy because what they had passed on to the parents and the parents would have passed on to the children, the priest role would have been so easy that all you have to do just help them to continue live the good life. So when they had the leadership breakdown, because their parents, they love their spiritual parents more than their own parents. Because half of them don't even know their parents. But in terms of people in tradition, because I'm around them.
Okay.
Their commitment, their devotion to the mother, the leader, the father, the Baba, they will not even give 10 seconds to hear a word from their own parent. Now see where the leadership problems That's how to begin. So if they don't have that discipline from the parent, then they go to the baba or the ear. Now, when they now become at the level where they could say, I's a big man, I's a big woman.
Hmm.
Same discipline they didn't have by getting proper leadership from their parents, they brings it to the church and the shrines and the temples now.
Definitely.
So how Baba didn't teach me this? How Baba ain't showing me this and Baba showing that one that? How they do it so for me? They don't lose the discipline. So we have to look at the whole journey. Leadership is not just about the person who has it charge to say the prime minister, the president, or the chairman, but leadership, everybody have to have their role of leadership. And if they have it correctly, it's only then the community will have proper leadership.
Well,
Now, when we go to Ifa,
mhm.
we must pay homage to Ojubona. everybody does forget the Ojubona. And they always, there's my Baba. Yeah, my Baba is this, or my year is this, that one. But who's your Ojubona? Because your Ojubona would be the one who had introduced you to Ifa before you even reached that Baba to be initiated.
Right. All
Right?
right.
Now that is a leadership role there again. So I just put myself as Ojubona. I can't train know how much years to be no Babalawo under no lineage. But I could be a Ojubona. I can lead others to Ifa. I can lead those seeking Ifa that they may find Ifa. And I could assist the Babalawo in also initiating those that I would have say, this is a good pathway you should take. You know? This is
Okay,
a good lifestyle.
but then, Baba, let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
I mean, a lot of people emphasize on the Babalawos as leaders, right? I mean, you mentioned a few different roles, but in the tradition, issues such as seniority, respecting elders, and all the persons above you in authority.
Mm.
The way the tradition is structured, there are numerous types of leaders, whether they be titled or untitled. In our tradition, in our community, a lot of the learning of the tradition is through the example of individuals who are senior to ourselves. So we learn a lot of things from observation, particularly here in the diaspora, right? And I think one of the reasons for that is because of the colonization, we had lost the opportunity to be able to teach, not just hand on by practice of right, but we lost the ability to transfer all the important details of what we practice. But we were not even allowed to speak in our mother tongue.
The mother tongues.
Yeah. So because of this, we have lost a lot of information. So now, in terms of leadership questioners that I really want to ask is for the younger generations who are now becoming immersed in the tradition. How challenges, how hard or how easy you see it being, given the fact that there is the absence of a lot of explanation. Because for them to fulfill their responsibilities as practitioners, as good followers, how will they be able to carry out that role in the absence of the detailed teaching of the information?
All right. One of my observations, because after use me as an experience, coming up from young, there was only one trophy in this tradition. In the practice of, because I began in Orisa practice, Shauta Baptist. Because Shauta was Christian, Hindu, Orisa. So this week we'd be doing Indian prayers, planting Indian flags. Easter we planting our Saint flags, and later in June or later June we planting Orisha flags.
Okay.
So I had the experience in all these different aspects of our tradition as what it was or how it used to be. And the only trophy really was for me is either I become a leader, a shepherd, a pointer, or some religious officer. All right. The emphasis was just live life good. You know, live the good life, let the Lord bless you. You know, let Orisha bless you. But there was not a goal to really work up outside of either being a spiritual head or a spiritual practitioner in one of the arts. I think what now I always emphasize on the 8 essence of Ifa as popular in the ICR had was does propagate. The cultural essence, the traditional essence. We never had things in place for the young ones to always challenge. So now we want chant wells. And now we are learning the language. So we want people to chant, let's say chant with the proper tonal or proper pronunciations of our songs.
Okay.
Now in my young age, it had Mastana Baha.
Okay.
And that was the key that preserved the Indian tradition in all its sphere. So out of that you got Tuna Popo. You have all these great dancers coming out. You have these people who are doing the puja and the 9 nights playing the music and the tabla. Masala Baha was the foundation for them to really develop and strive as young children, young youths to get in the art of the tradition.
Okay.
They are the Tassa competition. Now, outside of our festival, we really don't have nothing that does challenge the young ones to really excel in their talent. To dance Orisha, we have to catch a spirit in a pali. Because outside that, there's no way we could express, but we just go Cuba and go to the ballet in Cuba to see people dance the Orishas.
Okay.
We even just bring them here down here at UE. But now I think we have a group did a production. Ojo did a production, I think a few years back here recently. Or we go to Bahia, Brazil, and see Orisha parading. See thousands of dancers, thousands of drummers, thousands of people portraying their Orishas and portraying the tradition.
Okay.
We just boast that we are the people of Carnival. We gave Carnival to the world. Carnival came from Orisha. The drumming, the calypso came from the chantwells. We just boast of it. But there's have calypso competition, independence calypso. But what do we put as a challenge for the young ones in terms of they can go down deep in research? Because to win the goal, you have to be good. Don't just sing a song that everybody sing. Sing the song and make sure that you can perform the song. Sing the song that you understand the song. Not just repeat a song that everybody's singing. Or even bring your new songs. Because tell people, yes, we sing songs of old, but really, how old are some of these songs? You understand? How old are really some of these songs we sing? Because some of that be just for years, somebody bunks up and sing us. Because Yoruba was a Pekong. Yoruba was a language they use. It's a normal language. Like chutney.
Okay. Well, one of the things is you must all languages dynamic, so they change from time to time, right? And a lot of the phrases you use in the language a lot of times hinge the particular events in the history of a particular people. So a lot of times people on the outside of that language would know what certain idioms mean, unless it's explained to them. You know, if a person behave a certain way, and they say, "Well, use a mano or what?" Only a person from the country who probably lived through the times of Mano Benjamin would understand what a person mean if they call you that.
Mm.
You know, or another term people use, lagahu.
Mm.
If you ain't that Trinidadian, you wouldn't know what
You
that
don't
is.
know, you don't know.
You know, so because language is dynamic, right? It for a person to really fully understand and appreciate the songs, the orikis, the different things we sing, part of the meaning of those things are tied in with the history of the people. So the
Exactly.
way we sing here and the way they sing in Nigeria is two different things.
No, that's exactly. So I'm saying, okay, we had brilliant time and JDL there. Right? So Kika Michael, you had names you could call and people Trinidad. Right now, as somebody said earlier to me today, the Caribbean have to be thankful for Trinidadians that helped the Caribbean to become what it is. And when I was W.E.D. Bois, all these fellas had a link. This one who was the next guy with Eric Williams, capitalism and slavery. They were Trinidad was an intellectual community.
You know about CLR James and
CLR James, all these fellas. So
Michael Anthony, you know, VS Naipaul.
we were filled with intellectuals. And even from young, we had brilliant children from young who traveled outside and became whoever, what all big professional outside. So I'm saying, if from, well, let me say in the 80s, from the 80s, the same time in terms of Masana Baha, we had a parallel avenue for all these young youths with their talent to come. And there's something to offer. There's a prize. But the prize don't come by just you do something, but you have to do it to the best. You have to have proper research. So all what we are learning now in Ifa and all the Orikis and the Orin Ifa, Orin of Orisha, Orin of the whole tradition, we'll be far excel. Because the young minds now would be all those elders that passed with so many secrets. The secrets would have been preserved.
Okay. Well, I mean, I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, but
I'm dealing with the youth, how
looking,
mistake from the past. Yeah.
looking back at what we could have do, Baba, it's not really.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So
So what
we
you
had
have to do now, I was saying, what you have to look at the mistakes. Look where did we fall short? We have to be honest with yourself. Where did we fall short? Well, we never recorded. Because people believe our oral tradition only means I speak. Okay, no problem with that. But let's make sure that this is our oral tradition, Baba Ifa Bemiro, Baba Yoalewa, Baba so, Iya so, is orating the same message. You understand? So, because this now will make it our oral tradition. So we have the grimoires, we have the musicians sing the song, and we have the babas and the ears to tell the stories, to pass on to the young ones, because that is the essence of our tradition. So I'm saying, in terms of what we have for the youth now, because the youth now, they go on Google, they go on YouTube, and they can see songs, they see dances, they see, but how many of it really relate to us?
Okay, but then that brings the question of the local practice. How well is it recorded? How well is it displayed? Youth involvement. Because again, if we're talking leadership, we're not just looking at the leaders, we're looking also to
those following
practitioners. We're also looking at young people and their role as members of our community. We have to look at what are we providing to engage young people, to keep them engaged in the tradition, and also for them to be for them to be participating in what is going on. Right? Again, Leadership is not just the babalaos and the priests and the people with all the fancy title, because of the way the tradition is structured on seniority.
Mm.
The person who is just months senior to you is your leader too,
Mm.
not just the babalao or not just your godfather,
Yeah.
but all the persons who have entered into the tradition and have been practicing the tradition, and especially those who have been developing and advancing.
Mm.
These are also your leaders.
Mm.
So I mean, people seem to, again, we in a sort of title struck society, and I'm not knocking anybody. I just
No,
being
no,
real,
no, that is how it is
right?
designed presently. Yeah?
And
Mm.
we need to see beyond that. And with that, I want to read this essay, Ifa, from Otura Meiji.
Mm.
Right, this came from Osamara Ibi book on the complete works of Oran Mila. I'm going to read it and then we will talk about it a little
Yeah.
bit. All right. The title for this essay, Ifa, is The Origin of Coup d'etat Against Seniority and Authority. Now, this is not to go contradictory to what I was just saying,
No,
because everything has to be
yeah.
put in its place.
Everything that has a beginning, cause and
Right.
effect.
Right. So this year is the origin of what is referred to as a coup d'etat, or what we just call in modern times a revolution.
A revolution.
The next revelation of Otumeji is how it came about that both the young and the old have some sort of authority. Traditionally, seniority of age was the test of wisdom and authority.
Mm.
A young person was not allowed to and dare not interfere when the elders were deliberating. Otumeji has told us how the tradition was altered to make it possible for junior persons to contest for position and influence with their elders. He tells us that when the young person or the youth and the elderly person or the elder were going to ask for ashe from God or Oludumare, they went for divination to 3 hours called Oten Loten Ejo, which translates into English means soft sweet drink, Obi Lobi Hua, which means noble cola nut, and Imu Lemu Ara Jonjo, which is alcoholic wine. Right? One difa fun omode ipapo, abo fun agbalagba ipapon. They were both advised to make sacrifice, after which they left for heaven or Orun. When they got to heaven, Oludumare or God told them to return after 7 days with 201 Koris each. Now, we all know back then Koris would have represented money or currency.
Money and what? Yeah.
That was before Eshu closed the route leading from heaven to earth, the details of which we shall see in later books. Right? Now, I mean, I don't want to go too much into that, but there was a time when people used to come from Orun to Aye without birth, the process of birth. They just used to simply travel. When we needed people in Aye, we just used to simply
travel along.
walk and come down. All right. It was still possible at the time to travel back and forth between heaven and earth, which I was just explaining. The elder had no difficulties in collecting 201 Kori. The youth could only raise 50 koris on the appointed day. They both set out separately for heaven or Orun. Meanwhile, the youth met the elder on the way and offered to assist in carrying the load of koris for the elder, who was grateful for the kind gesture. The youth, however, told the elder that he could not travel at his slow pace. The youth therefore traveled at a faster pace, but promised to wait for the elder at the gates of Orun or heaven. The youth moved very fast and soon got to heaven. Before getting to heaven, the youth tied up his 50 koris together with the elder's 201 koris in a single parcel and left with it straight for the divine palace of Olodumare. On getting to the palace, he surrendered the parcel of 251 koris as if it was his own prize for a higher authority. Olodumare, however, told him to await the arrival of the elder. When the elder subsequently arrived, he thanked the youth for assisting him in carrying his parcel and for waiting for him. But when he demanded his kori from the youth, the latter denied ever relieving him of the burden and insisted that the whole parcel belonged to him. He in fact accused the elder of attempting to rob him of his parcel. The ensuing argument attracted the intervention of Olodumare, who asked how much each of them brought. The young man explained that he left home with 251 koris because he was anxious to have a stronger authority. When the parcel was counted, it actually contained 251 koris. So Olodumare then decided that the koris belonged to the younger man and gave him the ashe. So that ends the reading of this particular essay, Ifa. So we could now get into having the discussion.
One of the things we would come out, there's a statement we just make. Be careful what you wish for because you may get it. You know? And we're gonna look like a coup d'etat they take place. But you know, it terms of cause and effect in life, something that's happened and create a whole different situation than what was expected. And even if the youth may have done something wrong, that is how the universe moves. You want more power, take it. But even when you get the authority, even any king placed on a crown, he still have to respect the elder. No matter what title you have, the law of justice. So yes, you want the role to take charge and be responsible for the citizens and different, but you still have to pay respect to the elder. So the universe, people say, oh, so why God didn't punish the youth? Or why didn't take it and do like Solomon and cut it in half and give one and give the next one? So it's the principle of law, cause and effect. All sciences, understand people, you can see it in Ifa, you can learn it from Ifa, or you can learn it outside of Ifa and still realize, but that story speaks of this science. In terms of principles and laws of relativity, how things happen. We have talked about the narrow road, the broad road. But the question was, where's your destination? So no matter you take the broad road or the narrow road, the question was, where is your destination before you even start to take the road? Now, when we look at today, there's two types of leadership. There are leadership as to a name or titleship. Not titleship gives you a role. That's all. Can I start? Yeah, man. Hold on, let me cut. Hey.
All right, well, I will make a little comment to all the Baba.
Yeah, right.
Oh, the Baba.
Yeah. And then there's leadership in terms of responsibilities. All right? A lot of people don't understand the leadership is not just about I as the chairman. The other chairman supposed to chair and have a proper meeting. That is a role. Use the leader. But remember, you have the Speaker of the House, but you have the Prime Minister, you have the leader of opposition, which is two leaders ourselves. But the chairman now becomes the leader of the two leaders for them to do their role, because the chairman or the speaker role is just to make sure her role is to have a balanced discussion. So, as we said earlier, everybody will have a role. So, yeah, the young one would have achieved, but he was even granted the blessing of Olodumare to keep, because you think Olodumare didn't know.
Surely he did.
He knows.
No, well, then, the question is going to be, so if Olodumare knows, why would he allow the junior person to be given that action?
They give it.
Why would he give the action to the junior person? But assessing the whole thing, right? In interpreting and say equal, one have to look at 5 or 6 different things, right? And one of the things that you have to look at is the names of the Babalaos who were consulted when you went to the reading. Okay, hi, Ia. We have an additional guest with us this evening. We have Coach Iante, or Ia Ante.
Yeah.
Right. Ekabo, and welcome to the Ifa Orisa traditional discussion. Right. We're now getting into an essay Ifa that I just read from Otura Meiji. Right. I think before we actually started the program, we had some slight discussion about it. Right. So we're now going down into some of the details, and I was now explaining that one of the things that has to be considered when interpreting an essay is that we must observe the names of the Babalaos that do the divination for the individuals who are the main characters in the essay. Right? And the 3 names of the Babalaos that were listed here, the English translation of the first one means soft, sweet drink. The other name is noble cola nut. And the third one is alcoholic wine.
Alcoholic wine.
Yeah. So just from the names of these 3, it tells you something about the direction of the actual essay Ifa itself. Now, even though Baba, the elder, was deprived of the ashe because of his late arrival, the late arrival is one of the issues. But from the names of the Babalaos, that soft sweet drink would have probably been an indicator that the elders' words for the youth was never sweet. Okay? Now, here we see you have the title Coach Iante. So I might want to pose a question to you here. As a counselor, as a person who deals with young people, what would you suggest would be the best approach for an elder if they're trying to get results from a young person? Should their words be like soft, sweet drinks?
It's not a matter of speaking soft, it's a matter of valuing the person in front of you. So therefore, when you deal with the youth, they have to feel that they are valued, they have to feel that they are, that we listen to them. And it is true that often they speak differently. and we cannot afford to feel offended because of the way they speak. On the contrary, sometimes we have to, allow them to teach us also, so that we show interest to step into the world, because the only way they're going to want to listen to what we say when we are older is we got to show interest. All right, so it's like, for example, what we're talking about tonight is very interesting. I have no idea how many youth would be logged in and watching. But the point is that if you want to get a lot of youth listening to such a message, you need to get some youth on the on the panel as well, so that they too could give, their opinion. Allow them to speak the way they do. Sometimes it's true we feel offended, but as a counselor, the idea is to always remember that, I am the adult, I am the leader. So you
So
give
that
them
that
truth.
is that is I think your answer is very relevant to all that we've been saying. Because in the tradition, we would be considered youths, eh? Because what I read in the essay Ifa is that the tradition follows in the order of seniority. It's
Mhm.
something we also discussed earlier. But you also mentioned something. The
Sure.
second name of the Babalao that did the divination for both the youth and the elder would have been kola nut or noble kola nut, right?
Okay.
In our tradition,
Mhm.
the kola nut is considered to be something sacred.
Sure.
It's considered to be something of tremendous value. Beside the nutritional value, also the spiritual value. Because if we go into the Ifa or the Odu that deals with the Ori becoming the head of the body, what the Ori had to do to gain that title of superiority over all the Imales is he had to break a kola nut that all the Imales tried to break and failed. The only one that was successful was the Ori. This is the reason why, up to today, one of the most um, sacred or valuable considered pro articles used to propitiate the Ori is the kola nut. All right. Now, the kola nut hold a place of importance, significance, and all of that to show, I believe, not just the value that should be associated to youth, but also that value should be also associated to the elder. The point is the roles are different. Our discussion today is leadership, but we don't want to look at leadership from only one side. We have to look at leadership from all positions. Because to be
Definitely.
a good leader, you have to be a good follower.
Definitely.
Yeah? And if you are a good enough follower, eventually you can become
And the
a leader. But in the tradition, leadership is an order of seniority. So basically, every person who's a member of the community who carries some sort of responsibility is, in fact, a leader. All right. Now, the last thing that is listed as the name of one of the Babalaos that did the divination or the divination was alcoholic wine, right? Which is something very commonly used in a lot of our rituals, right? I don't want to hog everything and say everything, so I'll allow Baba maybe to elucidate on the use of alcohol or wine in our rituals. What does it symbolize? And why would that be mentioned here?
Well, let's say no distiller distills his rum without smiling. So it comes at the end of the story, all will be pleased and all there will still be joyfulness,
Happiness and joy.
happiness and joyfulness. All right. They even used to say that wise men drink whiskey, fools drink wine. So in terms of it opens room for conversation. Hold on there a minute. Gaston,
Yeah.
please
Well,
have a comment, please. All right.
I want to believe too. Now, the three things that I mentioned,
It's cola nut, noble cola nut,
yeah,
the
soft drink,
alcoholic wine,
soft drink, and
and still
alcohol.
soft drink.
Yeah. So,
Right? So
mhm,
like
go
what
ahead, man.
the basic principle is so the morning of life, the afternoon, and the evening. right? In the morning, young ideas, right? We young. So the introduction to the two parties was at a young nature. There was trust, there was, how you call it, camaraderie. Let me help you, Elder. You look like you're straining. In the afternoon of the scenario, there we come a noble cola. People start to know, Colana gives you wisdom, Colana gives you a pat, Colana gives you
Long
strength. So
life,
now,
long life, long
reason,
life.
long life. But now reasoning comes in. Or Colana tells so the voice. So reason come in. So the young one started reasoning in terms of his own ideology. What do I want? So he go towards his ambition. I'll call it one in the celebration, in the drunkenness of power now, come in. Because he didn't want share leadership, he want all.
Well,
That's
I
a,
mean, now remember, Oludumare knew everything.
yeah. No, I said,
Okay?
no, the drunkenness in terms of the youth, he became drunk with power. That's why he didn't say, okay, yes, we both had it. He said he changed the whole story. I came with 251 Corey and look by 251 Corey
And
because
and
he
my
realized
and
he
my
was
elder and my
all,
elder tried to rub me
yeah,
too. On top of
yeah,
that,
right?
he
So he was
tried to
all
deprive
for
me.
that. So it is that's in the essays basically gives us our life experiences. They give us how the possibilities of life and the basic reactions. You notice Olodumare didn't make a judgment. He gave according in his wisdom. Because in a day, youth, what they allow power, what are you going to do with the power?
Well, Baba, I think another important thing too is that beside the three things
Mm,
that were the three major elements that is shown in the essay,
mm,
because the elder is wiser than the youth,
mm.
but he didn't have the speed and the strength. So this
Yeah.
is why he handed over the
You
courage.
have to hand over.
Yeah.
He like discernment as well.
Now
Right.
that's what I'm saying. So Olodumare judgment still puts him in position that the elder will still have the authority. Because no matter who is, you have to respect the elders. Who crowns a king? The owner of Ife, it is the elder ladies who had was to accept him. I feel like how he get in there.
Yeah.
But you know the
But
grannies that
then
used
to
to nice
remember
prices.
the words that the youth used to the elder were
Mm.
sweet words,
Sweet words. Let me help
because you have a burden you're carrying, a
you.
heavy
Of
load,
course.
and you have a far journey.
Mm.
So when the elder hear that, of course it affects his judgment, and he say,
Yeah,
you know what, I ain't able to do this everything.
of
And it's
course.
far we have to go to. So within all the three factors, the exchange, the communication between the elder
Voila.
and the youth have to be done not just with tactfulness, but your words must be pleasant,
Mm.
must be soft, must be sweet, in case you might have to swallow it,
Yeah, that's what it up after.
right? But also with the cola, the noble cola nut, it also means too that the youth have to value the elder,
Mm.
and the elder have to
After
value
that.
youth.
Mm.
And to give you the reason there in the essay, Ifa,
Mm.
because the youth is able to move faster and they are able to carry what the elder is not able to carry. So a lot of the burdens, a lot of time, are the things that slows elders down. The responsibilities that the elders has been taken on since their youth
Mm.
becomes burdensome, and they are no longer able to carry out
The
these
carry the burden.
responsibilities with the swiftness.
Because remember, as I was saying earlier, as of my experience, even in all his journey, there was nothing really to sweeten my palate to really be out there, other than just trying to be a good child of God. All right.
All right, Baba, we have like about 6 more minutes to the
All right.
hour, so
Yeah.
just saying that so we had to look around.
All right. So in terms of leadership, remember the essay or the I forget what was used one for a little poem. The young child could not reach the jar on the shelf.
Yeah, but the elder hand couldn't
Yeah,
go in the mouth of the jar.
hand could not reach the jar.
Mm-hmm.
When the elder, his hand could not get inside, the child hand had also go inside to take out that both of them could have shared by their both effort. And this was saying in terms of when they ask about how do we motivate the young ones, we are the other one who have the understanding of the wider aspect of the tradition. We have to open opportunities for them to know to come participate, learn, express it, but also be able to know, put them in a position they have to come to us, sit with us, learn from us, that their production can be what they want it to be. But they will have the essence from us, the others,
I wanna
not
point
taking
something
away
out
tradition.
too.
Uh-huh.
Within the essay, Ifa, notice that Olodumare put a stop by the gate
Mm,
and he told the youth, wait until the elder come.
mm.
So
So he said
despite
like
Olodumare, right, being fully aware of
mm,
everything, he
mm,
still presented an opportunity
mm.
for sweet words, for people to
Noble
value
action
each
to take
other,
place.
yes, and for them to have an opportunity to be able to
Good
celebrate
relationship.
together.
Yeah. Mm,
Was not taken,
right. And
right? But
that's familiar in life. And this is why I said we have to know, as you see, bring the young ones outside us, our practice usually in terms of teaching the spirituality, right? Not the morals and the ethics. The morals and the principles that are required for our community to build. So everybody, because if you look at most of the messages, everybody want to know, if I dream this, what does that mean?
Sure.
How do I do this ritual to get this?
Mhm.
But how do I develop character that I could become wise? How can Ifa teach me that I can have the Iwa, Rere Iwa Pele? How could I know that I even what is my real Iwa? Because a lot of people is characters, because I just hear some people pray and I looking to see the elder that are supposed to know. When but I know the elder, who's that? What's your character when you go before the spirit? So how do we have to now develop things where we bring them to really participate, but know that they have something to achieve before they reach our eldership titles. No rush to be I thought it was to just be a shepherd when I learned to make drum. I became a master drummer. I'm making drums, I'm playing drums, I'm styling drums, formulating drum beats. When I terms of songs and reading, I thought the reading was only about to invoke a spirit. When I could read and tell children a story and have people laughing at a story, asking questions to understand the morals and principles of mosquito and airs. Why do mosquito always bother your airs? Because mosquito and airs went and planted some corn together. Mosquito went away and airs took all the corn and sold it. When mosquito came back, he said, "Where's my share?" Airs say, "I have no share because I had to reap all by myself when he went away." Mosquito say, "I will torment you for the rest of your life." Isn't today mosquito still tormenting airs?
surely. All right, Baba. All right.
Right?
So
So
in
it is
closing, go ahead.
So in closing, it is we have to get open avenues other than just our ceremonies and festivals to allow youth to participate in other aspects and to practice elements of the tradition that they could also understand and apply to their life, not just the worship.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would say in closing, three things. The first part, let your words be kind and soft between elders
Mm-hmm.
and the young.
That's it.
Value each other,
Yes.
like the value of a cola.
Mm.
And obviously, in the end result is we all going to be happy and we all going to
That happened.
celebrate it,
Joy.
which is the one.
There you are.
I don't know, Iya, what you had to say in the closing, even though you missed part of the presentation.
Yeah, I did miss most of it. No, in closing, it's just like to be gentle, as you say, to have a sweet speech because we need them. We have to show the way. We have to, we have to guide them, and especially we need to be tolerant. Okay,
Mm.
especially with the youth nowadays, they're
Over energized.
I'm trying to find the right word, but we just need to be patient and to be tolerant, so even if sometimes we may feel very offended, it's okay. because no man is perfect, and especially not the youth. They are younger.
There are usually a song most people close, but I don't want to sing it. They just say it. There's nothing shall stop us from fulfilling our traditional rights.
That's
But
it.
people have to remember, only you can stop yourself from fulfilling your traditional rights.
Ashe.
I think that one in a song. So when I get to the song, we will sing it.
All right, Baba.
Yeah, pleasant night, Baba Ifa Bemiro. Thank you again. And all viewers, be watchful because there are a lot of information that will come out and a lot of wisdom out of Ifa that you need to hear. I will say Abo Aboye, Abo Shishi.
Abo, yeah, abo, shishi.
Oh, what she say?
And
Abo.
Odabo. See you
Oda,
all on the next stream, which will be next Friday.
next Friday. I'll see you.
Okay, I say, oh, have a good night.
Odabo.